Charlie, 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 what are you doing? Do we have to play on the stairs? Hey.
The whole place is dark.
I always wanted to be a comic since I was a kid.
For 15 years of my life, I used to smoke, I used to drink, I did drugs, I used to eat lard right out of a can occasionally.
I met Marc in the early 80s. I was one of a handful of people, there weren't many, who could tolerate him.
I couldn't draw, no matter how many Conans I did, and that was part of the beginning of the podcast.
What's happening? I'm Marc Maron, this is my podcast.
Yeah, there's that Lou Reed line, I accept the newfound man. And that is what Marc became.
You started this in your garage, right?
Yes, sir. I have a very short commute to work. You know, we've all been able to live our dreams as, mediocre radio personalities on our own terms.
Someone must have set him up.
I have moments where I love myself, I think. But it's like, what else am I supposed to do but talk about fascism and heartache and rip off of life? I lost a person I loved at the beginning of the pandemic. I was more comfortable with myself, when I was, with her somehow. I don't know how to talk about some of the stuff that I went through. I don't even know if it's appropriate to do it. When do I write a joke? When does the funny happen? I'm clearly dealing with grief and sadness by, overcompensating with anger and funny. If you don't like my tone, it's a character I'm working on. It's called Me Half the Time.
Come on, let's try.
I don't think my stand-up ever really kind of breaks the ceiling. But it's a life of that, and I'm tired. I have nothing to lose anymore. Actually, I have a lot to lose. Let's do it anyway.
Midnight with the dead moon in its jaws. Must be the big star about to fall.
All right. Yeah. Wow. I feel like it's a long time coming
Yeah.
talking to you, right? It's
Yeah, well,
like,
we spoke, I just remembered we spoke at the Slam Dance in 2012, I think it was. I remember, I think I remember
well, but I wasn't there, but I'm
2013
thinking,
maybe, was it?
no, it had to be right around 2012, right? Because I remember seeing the Bitter Buddha. I think it's South by Southwest in 2012. Is that possible?
We didn't play South by, we
Oh,
played Slam
oops.
Dance.
All right.
Slam Dance. We might have done a phone interview. I remember we definitely spoke. There was definitely an interview at one point.
There was an interview. I think you're right, but it was not on the podcast.
Okay.
But it was, yeah. It might have been for POV.
Okay, that might be.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, it's nice to be connected again. And I know I've shot you a note here or there over the years with
Oh,
my
yeah, that's right.
Eddie Pepitone sightings or run-ins.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw Eddie?
Oh, just weeks ago. He was back. He was back up here, right down the street where I'm in the Hudson Valley, up in
Yeah.
right on the river, in a town called Athens, and the next town south is Catskill, New York.
Yeah.
And he was just there.
That's great. Yeah,
And
he
it
was
was-
telling me he was up there. Yeah, his sister has the house up in Woodstock.
Oh, right. He did mention something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's his retirement plan.
Yeah. He mentioned. I didn't want to say it publicly, but you have. So, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All the best plans, laid plans, but and then I mean, honestly, it was through. Well, you introduced me to Eddie, and then I wonder if it was really that maybe that's when I discovered Marc Maron from Eddie, from your documentary about Eddie Pepitone, The Bitter Buddha.
Yeah. I mean, I learned about Eddie through Marc listening to WTF. That was all all happening
Right.
around 2010, 2009.
Yeah. Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Eddie's the we could talk about Eddie all day. Eddie's the funniest. Still.
Oh my God,
Still underappreciated. But it's one of those things that I think enough people over time have found him, and
Oh, sure. And I have to say, I mean, I took my son to see Eddie because he was here. My son was here visiting with me, and we went, and he enjoyed it very much. because I don't know, he's like one of those people that he's just so physical and just such a visual presence at the same time that that people
His audience,
respond.
yeah, his audience, he still does really well amongst people like in their 20s. It's fun to see. It's not like because he's as relevant as he's ever been.
Sure.
Yeah. So
What? So this is, but that was your first documentary feature, correct? The Bitter
yes,
Buddha
right.
back in
That's my
20.
first feature documentary back in we started filming in 2010. Came out
Right.
in 2013, really 2012.
Right.
Yeah, and then I stopped docs for a while. I was like, I just, I liked comedy. I wanted to figure out what my place was in that world. And I realized it's hard to break into show business in a lot of ways. And
Right.
I was doing comedy specials.
Well, tell me just about that as we lead into Marc Maron, because that really was it just seemed like a natural, organic process that led,
Yeah.
I mean, period that just ultimately led to the documentary, which we are going to talk about today, which is called Are We Good? This new documentary about Marc Maron that you directed. But I'm kind of interested a little bit in how you got involved in directing comedy, stand-up shows, like how that happened for HBO or Netflix primarily, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really happened after the documentary. Right after the documentary, it got around. People liked it, and it did the festival circuit and played all over the world, and it found a nice cult audience, I like to say. So what happened there was a lot of comedians reached out to me that I met over the years doing that doc, if I had any interest in doing a special or shooting a special. And that was sort of the time of like this comedy special boom. There were a few companies out there that were doing just loads of them for Netflix and
Right.
full Showtime and all that. So
Specials.
yeah, so really what happened to be, I mean, completely honest, is I got a call one day from somebody who was producing specials for Netflix and said that Ted Sarandos was a fan of Mark. I mean, I'm sorry, of Eddie. I apologize. Was a fan of Eddie Pepitone, and he was, wanted to see if they could do a comedy special. This is back when Ted
Isn't
Sarandos,
that great?
back when he was worrying about comedy, and now he's got a lot of other things to do. But that's what I had heard, and they said he would love to see if we could do it. So I was tasked to do that, and then they were like, "Well, can you also do Matt Bronger's special for Comedy Central? You can do it on the same location." So
Mhm.
the first ones I did were Eddie and Bronger back to back. So it was kind of, and with that, it's with a documentary, you have time and you craft a story, and you're with your subject. In the comedy special, it's obviously very different. It's all one night.
Yeah.
It's
How'd you learn how to do that?
I mean, to be, you know, totally honest, it was just finding the right people, the right team to work with, especially on the first go round. I wanted to make sure I hired the people that knew
Yeah.
what they were doing, and I was lucky to find a great lighting designer and a cinematographer, Graham Willoughby. Does all the Morgan Neville docs and
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. So I had a great team, and then I kind of kept that team intact mostly for future specials. And a lot of comedy specials are really knowing the material, knowing the style of the comic, and just elevating it in a way visually that doesn't distract, but also is something you'd want to look at for an hour. You're not reinventing the wheel, but some comedians work on the material for 5-10 years before they before they finally put it on film. So it's a lot of responsibility to get it right and to not
Wow.
make it
Yeah.
look cheap.
And now you're one of the go-to guys.
One of
How
the
many
guys.
have you done? How many comedy concerts have you done now?
Yes, concerts. I like that. Sounds better.
Yeah.
I got to somewhere in the 30s, probably.
That's amazing.
It's a lot. But
And
I was
that's
doing a lot more.
that's
I was doing a lot more early on, like 2015 to 2020. That's when I did the bulk of them. And then,
what happened in
yeah,
2020?
what
I know.
happened? What happened?
Yeah, that
And
slowed down everything.
yeah, so then
Yeah.
nothing really until I did one, and then I did a show with Bill Burr called The Ring
Right.
before the pandemic, and then really nothing until Maron's
Panicked.
Bleed to Dark, and then we
Oh,
did
right. When that came out not long ago, and now Panicked. And Panicked, which is another stand-up concert, comedy concert. That is that due out?
Panic came out not that
Oh,
long
so
ago. Oh
it's
yeah,
the
it came
most
out.
recent one.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say maybe 2 months ago.
Okay, yeah. So okay. That was the one I caught a good part of that, but I didn't remember the name. Um, okay, so now we've gotten that out of the way. We can move on. And but I was very curious about it because like here I have an opportunity to talk to somebody who's shooting these films, and it's such a particular niche, you know. I mean, it's a very popular niche. It's not like a marginalized sort of part of the entertainment world. Comedy specials are huge, but I'm just wondering, like, I was wondering how do you start, like, and but you like you say, you have a great team. They know what they're doing. You're probably learning a ton at those first few.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You learn a ton. I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to like the gear. So I'm
Really?
probably an annoyance with the cinematographer because
Yeah, right.
I do love lenses and cameras, and I love to see what's new and all. The technology of film always interested me. So in
Well,
that point, yeah,
did you have a lot of hands-on on the equipment for Bitter Buddha because there
yeah,
you're
I shot the
unknown, right? You didn't have.
I shot most of that thing myself, and
Yeah,
I shot most of this one too myself.
yeah,
I do enjoy actually having my hands on the camera and doing
yeah.
it myself. But when you're actually directing, especially, you have to be behind the monitors. You can't be
Right.
a director
But
with.
your signature in terms of these bookended documentaries between Eddie Pepitone, The Bitter Buddha, and Marc Maron, Are We Good? Is highly, really intensely personal um, look at these people. You know what makes them tick and what they're going through. And in Maron's case, as we learn, of course, we know that he lost his partner um, during COVID.
Yeah,
It wasn't direct a result of COVID. It was just during that lockdown period that where Lynn Shelton um, died. Um, it was very strange. I just want to mention. I promise I will not make this about me, but I was still in lockdown in New York right before I moved up here, I believe, up to the Hudson Valley, and I think I'm remembering this correctly. My ex-wife, who is in a series, she's an actor, and she was in a series, and Lynn just had directed a couple of episodes.
oh, little fires everywhere.
No, the morning show.
Oh
Do,
wow.
do I have that right?
Oh yeah, I think that's right. I think she did.
Season one or two?
Yeah, I don't know the details, but that sounds.
So she had worked with. I knew Lynn for years because of like this podcast has been always about independent film, and you can't do that with having Lynn Shelton. Lynn
Yeah,
Shelton's there, right there.
yeah,
And so I got to know her, and I met her a number of times, many times, and it was just I was just really thrown there. And if you look on my the show's archive, we have a episode just not long after she died, dedicated to her. And I brought on a number of people that work with her, and really was really disturbed, upset by the loss.
yeah, yeah. She was definitely beloved in the
Yeah,
film community in Seattle as well.
right.
She came up with.
So like Ben, who's Ben, you see him in the B-roll stuff, right, or in the archive. Ben
Ben Kasalki.
Kaselka, yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
who's a
Kasalki.
buddy of mine.
Oh yeah,
And a few other people that were super close to her and very share all this history with her. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
getting back, but so Mark, just a remarkable. I mean, here's a guy finally, as we see in your film, Are We Good? Finally seems who's not a happy guy.
Yeah, yeah. No, happy's not the word yet. He's never been.
Right. It's just built into his DNA. He's a kind of grouchy.
Yeah, he takes the world on his shoulders. Everything's.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't take things lightly.
No, definitely not.
And seemed like he found real sort of peace there with his relationship with Lynn.
Yes, yes.
You
Yeah,
know,
he felt. Yeah, he felt that was it. That was the person he was going to be with for forever.
yeah,
That was-
finally, right? Because he's had multiple marriages, relationships. It's been a challenge,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know. And
Yeah.
she found the secret sauce or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, yeah, they really got each other. They really, it was definitely love, pure love. It was, it was yeah, just horrible story of what happened there.
So you talk about then, just take a step back now, like your, I know that this was pitched to you by a producer, that you would be perfect to make this film about Marc Maron. Obviously, he knew you, but
Yep.
talk about those early conversations as much as you can, anyway.
Yeah. So I forget it was late 2020 or early 21, around there. I was approached by Julie Seabaugh, great producer and story editor, filmmaker in her own right. She approached me about a Maron doc. Obviously with what had gone on, it felt like an interesting access point into his life. I was apprehensive at first. I've known Marc for since like 2010, so we had a prior friendship relationship. But telling this story takes real delicate care and trust. So I brought a camera to the Comedy Store. We started filming. He was apprehensive. I was apprehensive. We didn't really know what to make of it at the beginning, but it just kind of over time, trust was there, and it was just sort of like I was there, dependable, with a camera and a lav, and we were just documenting it. That was it.
But all right, so here's a question. This might be sensitive.
Sure.
Julie or Julia? Sorry, Seabob.
Oh, Julie. Yep.
Julie. So she approached you about doing it. Who approached her?
Who approached her?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, so she works for, I mean, where was this just her idea? Or like, did Maron want to have a documentary?
No. Maron didn't want anything. It wasn't Maron's like project.
Okay. I believe that. Yeah, of course.
No,
Makes
yeah. That
sense.
was, if anything, it was just like, it was just like, what about a Maron documentary? Like it was one of those. And then
Seemed like, yeah.
yeah, it was the pandemic, and we all didn't know what to do or what to make or how to create. There were no jobs. There was nothing happening. And you think about it for a while. You're like, well, a lot of celebrity biodocs out there. There's just so many of them. Do you really want to add to the glut of those? And what are they really gonna say? But after digging into his Instagram posts, like those Instagram lives, and listening to the intros during that time after Lynn passed, it really felt like there has to be something here, that's more than just this. And it's still a way to tell his story, his from his past, as well as telling the story of the between him and Lynn. So, but yeah, no, it was just approached by Julie, who I'd known for a long time, and very, very talented person herself, and yeah, that was it. We just went off to the races and started making it.
Were those early conversations with him about why, how this story might touch, the audience, might maybe help in some cases with people who.
I always felt that was the case when talking about the idea of the film and dealing with grief and through his lens. But I never explicitly talked to Marc about how it would help people. That wasn't.
I'm just wondering what would be why he would sort of become like supportive of the idea. Like what would be the.
It's a good question. He had been approached prior by other filmmakers about doing different documentaries,
Right.
different points in his life. Some pretty high profile filmmakers, and he never felt the comfort to do it. I think it was the timing. He may have just been in a self-reflective mood and wanting to have somebody there to bounce things off of, and felt maybe comfortable around me. That honestly might have been it. I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I do feel like.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but I do feel like there was. I feel like there was a comfort level, even though he's like annoyed with me in the movie and stuff, and plays that up. But it's.
But yeah, it's played up a little bit. I mean, I know he cares. Obviously, you have a real rapport with him.
Totally, and I think that was it, and I think I don't want to put words in his mouth, but maybe that he knew that I would take care of this story and not try to exploit it in any way, and that was it. And try to keep
trust. You're describing trust.
That's it. This is trust.
Yeah.
It took a bit.
Yeah.
It took like 4 or 5 days of filming with him to really start to feel that, but it was definitely there.
Yeah. it seems like he's at an inflection point in a way, in his life because I thought I heard a rumor he was retiring his podcast or considering that, or
He is. Yeah, it's ending.
right.
Yeah, October 13th.
Oh my God,
Hmm.
right in time. We
Yeah.
should mention by now, since I buried the lead, that um, Are We Good is going to have a theatrical in New York and LA on October 3rd. And then it will have nationwide theatrical events, which I think I know what that means on the 5th and 8th. It sounds like you're going to have one-offs and special events where maybe you'll appear, maybe Mark will, I don't know.
Yeah. So on the 5th and 8th, we're going to be in a bunch of theaters all around North America for one-off screenings. I think at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night on the 5th and the 8th. A lot of your theaters that people are going to. So a lot of AMC,
Mhm.
Eagles, all the big boys, and yeah, and hopefully if it does well enough in LA and New York and these screenings, we can go wider for weeks, that kind of thing. But it's a small indie film, so we have to get whatever support we can get behind it.
Sure. Yeah. And but let's not um forget the theatrical or make too little of the theatricals in New York and LA. Of course, that helps qualify the film
Sure.
for Oscar consideration, Academy consideration. And do you know where those are?
Where the New York and
The
LA.
theatricals will be in New York and
Yeah,
LA.
New York and LA. In New York, it's gonna be at the Regal Union Square starting on the
My
3rd.
old neighborhood.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it's a good theater too. And then the AMC Empire in Times Square.
Right.
And we're going to be doing a Q&A with me and Jessica Curson on the
Oh, yeah, she's
3rd,
in the film. That's right.
or on the 8th, sorry. Yeah, she's great. And then in LA, we're doing the AMC Americana for a week in Glendale and the Alamo Draft House downtown.
Nice. There's in LA.
Yeah, downtown LA. Yeah, not Austin, but I think we're
Right.
playing.
No, I know there's one.
Okay.
They're in Brooklyn. Come on.
They're all over now.
Yeah. There's what a great theater. If you want to drink a ice cream beer float during your
Yes,
film, yeah, the
exactly.
place to go. Yeah, I want to mention since you brought up Jessica Curzon, the comedian. Also, you've some really stellar folks in the film, including, of course, John Mulaney, Nate Bargatze,
Yeah, that's right.
David Cross,
Always great.
W. Kamau Bell,
Yep.
Michaela Watkins, Sam Cedar, who of course used to co-host a show right on Air America.
Yeah, we
Forgot
couldn't.
about.
Yeah, we could not include Sam in there.
I love Sam Cedar,
Best.
but it's hard. I completely forgot about that part of Maron's
Yeah,
resume.
political years.
Yeah, right. It really everything's in there. I mean, it's like that must be challenging, right? Like
Yes. Yes,
because I know he's turning 62 this week.
He is. Yeah, and on Saturday, yeah. He's turning
Yeah, I turned 60 because I turned 62 yesterday.
60. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks. And aside from being a podcaster who had a lot of resentment against him because he would get everybody on the show, his show, and
Of course.
I'd be like thinking of I'm gonna get some obscure musician or somebody really like a filmmaker that I've been so curious about, and I would go try to get him. I couldn't get him, let's say, in some cases. Mark, for some reason, exact same. So whatever like reference or like sphere of reference that we share, it's like I only say that because like our tastes seem to be aligned, and it might have something to do with the fact that we're both born in the same matter of days.
Yeah. Where are you
But
from? What are you from? East Coast too?
yeah, but I'm from New York. Yeah.
He's from Jersey, so
Yeah. Right.
originally.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting similarities. Yeah.
Definitely.
And
Well,
but
his podcast is ending, so you can get all his guests now. They're all
yeah.
there'll be more.
I'm sorry.
I see there'll be more availability for the guests now that Mark's going.
Oh, that's true. But I have wanted to retire too, but I just don't seem to be able to turn that corner. But interesting. The Maron series on IFC
Yeah.
was really, that was a real peek inside. So it makes since. You know, there's some time has gone by now, at least 5, 6 years. I don't remember when that came out exactly, but
Yeah, well, maybe more. You know, I
yeah,
think
you may be right.
2014, 2015. Yeah, from there.
So it would have made sense to wait, and then of course you have to. Then Lynn's passing. It just you know it. There's enough distance, and so much has happened since. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely. No, he's had a lot of career milestones, and but yeah, Lynn passed in 2020, so we started filming in
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Right.
a year later in 2021.
Right.
So
It's a thoroughly enjoyable, and I think it's a very, I mean, there, you know, look, he's kind of a sad guy on some level, but I also look at it like this is the period where he's kind of figuring it out. Like again, like you know,
totally,
how
yeah,
where can he, how can he find peace? And it's and, you know, peace
yeah,
of mind.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
what's next?
yeah. I mean, that's we did a Q&A for at Tribeca, and Tracy
Right.
Letts moderated. You know, obviously great,
Oh wow,
incredible playwright, and
sure, an actor. Yeah.
unbelievable. And he, you know, his opinion on the film was that it was about the work, and that's kind of been sticking with me. You know, obviously it's not something I went into thinking that it was about, but looking back at it, everybody has their own interpretation. But I think it's very interesting that that was Tracy's. Um,
Take.
his take was that it was about
Mm.
the work, and that
Yeah.
always, no matter what it is, and you know, grief, tragedy, everything. You know, not to belittle any of that,
No.
but Mark is, you know, he's a comedian, and this is what he does, and he minds whatever's going on in his life into the work, and
Mm.
that's how he functions day to day. You know.
Well, congratulations. I hope you make more documentaries. I mean, you know, I think you're a very good storyteller, and I both, you know, the Bitter Buddha and Are We Good are, I think, really, really strong. And you know, I hope, yeah.
Maybe I'll take.
So,
Maybe I won't wait 12 years in between.
well, if you have a lot of great work that's helping you, you know, economically and otherwise, then by all means, do what you got to do. You're still a young guy.
Still got some time. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks so
But
much. I appreciate
all right, yeah, glad to finally do this with you on the podcast. And
it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where we did. I definitely.
we'll dig it. I'll dig it
We'll
out. I'll
figure
let
it
you
out.
know.
Yeah. I'll look it up too.
I'll send you a note. But again, one last time, Are We Good will be playing theatrical in New York and LA on October 3rd, and then various events on the 5th and 8th around the country. And I'm sure there's a streaming plan in place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, go to
you know,
arewegoodmarin.com. I think that'll be where you find all
oh,
that.
I was looking around. Yeah. Okay. It's again. It's
Arewegoodmarin.com.
oh, okay.
But yeah,
Arewegoodmarin.com for all the screening information. You can maybe request screenings. Is that an option or
yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
no? Yeah.
If not, we'll tell them to make it an option. Let's get it.
That's
Come
it.
on.
And I saw Instagram. You're on Instagram, so it's very easy to find out all you need to find out about it. And this is Steven Feinartz. Thank you, man, and hope we can do it again.